I'm Felicia. I'm a mom, 2 boys. I work in town. Most of my time is spent with Chris at basketball games or practices. I attend New Hope Community Church with Pastor John and Renee and the rest of the family there. 10 years ago, because that's when everything happened in the 10-year period. And then my dad got sick, he passed away. I took care of my mom, and she got sick, she passed away. And then I also lost my sister after my dad because she was sickly, so she passed away. So this is like from a 10-year period back. When my husband passed away, he passed away from a brain tumor that he had. It was cancerous. Well, I woke up in the middle of the night to do my devos. I think it was like 2 in the morning. I couldn't go to sleep. And I was reading my devos, and just the voice, I was crying and just asking the Lord, how am I gonna move on? And, and I just heard a voice, and I know it was the Lord's voice. Just hearing his voice and seeing his fingerprints on so many things, I know that he was always there. Okay, my oldest son, Blaze, graduated from Kamehameha schools in 2005, and then he wanted to go off to college away from the state, so he attended Seattle University for the next 4 years, and then he came home for about a couple of years to help take care of my mom. And so he had an opportunity to go to NYU for 2 years. They gave him an internship for 2 years. Last year, May, we went up for his graduation. And when we went up, he wasn't feeling well, like he had a cold. And I said, I think you should see the doctor. He said, I did. They said I have pneumonia. So, I'm on medication. So I said, okay. So when he came home in June, he still had a cough. He still had the sniffles. And I said, I think you should see a doctor here because you're not getting any better. So he did. And long story short, he didn't have pneumonia. He actually had cardiomyopathy. And then 2 days after that, he wasn't feeling well. He felt nauseous. And I woke up the next morning and I found that the Lord had taken him home. Now, losing my husband was hard because he was my husband. But to lose a child, it was the hardest thing for me. And people would ask me, weren't you angry at God? Why he took your husband and he took your son? And I was never angry at him. I was never angry because the Lord giveth and he taketh away. And Blaze, yeah, he was my son. I was his mom, I was his earthly mom. But he actually belonged to the Lord. The Lord has just taken me through seasons. A lot of winters, but he's never left me. He's always shown his fingerprints in everything. One night I was praying, I said, Lord, I just want to hear his voice. I just want to hear his voice. And one night when I'm ready to go to bed, I hear his voice. He says, hi, Mom. So the Lord has been showing me in so many ways, like, hey, I got him. So there's hope in everything, because Jesus is hope. He gives you hope in everything. And you know, I'm just so blessed by family and friends who just support me too. When Blaze passed away, I had our church family calling and visiting, bringing meals. My friends that I've had for 20 plus years, they took turns spending the night so that Chris and I wouldn't be alone. You know, I mean, just the support, people that showed Jesus to us. We'll probably hit winters again, but I know for sure, Jesus is for sure. I mean, he has never left us. Even from the loss that we have had in the past 10 years, he has never left us.